May 15th, 2018, 7 years ago, just to make you feel old and grey, the world was blessed with Hitman Definitive Edition. Also, Wizard of Legend came out. By far, the best wizarding game I have ever played. Wizard 101, you get the tension. College of Winterhold, I never even learned a single spell. Hogwarts Legacy, not my cup of tea, I'll be honest with you. Noita was actually pretty good, but oh, I can dig! No! Wizard, ooh, Wizard of Legend. Now that game is truly legendary. The sheer number of spells, items, and crazy combinations it allows you to do is absurdly fun. The game clearly doesn't give a single damn about balance, it cares about cool. The fact that you can randomly pick up a cursed item that allows you just to skip the whole game by making every single attack, both yours and the enemy's, 99 damage, makes you question if balance is even necessary in any game, because god damn it, I let you know, breaking stuff is fun. Things were perfect. June 12th, 2025. 7 years later, it happened. Steam, a pen. Gamers, cattle. Wizard of Legend 2 was despised by the entire community. An enormous wave of disappointment brought about by the game's failures and the very high expectations. But was all that hate truly deserved? Were expectations too high? Was the first game even good? Yes, the first game was amazing. Still is. So good. If you haven't tried it, go play it now. I want us to give a fair and objective look at Wizard of Legend 2 and compare it to the first game. Spells, home, level, bosses, the soundtrack, overall design, pretty much everything. Bearing the main hubs, okay? Wizard of Legend 2 is grand. It's divided into 3 separate areas, and in none of these you can sprint. That kind of sucks. You spawn in the center, located in the library. Here you have access to a mirror, which provides you with very useful medallions for some pretty decent boosts, a fireplace to access the multiplayer, as well as a quest board for objectives and rewards. To enter your room, you have to head to the left. This entire area is dedicated solely to the wardrobe. Those items you see there are all just cosmetic. Heading outside instead, we can regulate the difficulty, pick new relics and spells. The entire area, in my opinion, is far too large. Too much of the space is dedicated to nothing. The relic storage is disorganized. Regardless of their category, are just tossed together in a seemingly random order. Even the spells, while far more organized, aren't nearly as instinctual to the first game, forcing you to either accept the disorganized structure or scroll through the separate categories. Very soon you will see what I mean. Wizard of Legend is cozy. You spawn directly in your room. On the left you will find your wardrobe, and yes, the big guy talks. Every robe has its own set of abilities. On the right, your spell book. Spells are well organized per category and element. They're incredibly easy to spot and access. Heading downwards, we have all of our relics, well organized as well in 3 separate categories for attack, defense, and mixed. You probably noticed the industrial quantity of spells and items you have access to in the first game compared to the second, but more on that later. The jukebox allows you to change the music genre, and the camera to save a build. Accessing the multiplayer is done through the main menu. The multiplayer is super local. You will be playing on the same screen on the same device. This can result in some camera issues and it can be a bit annoying, especially in dungeons. You shouldn't have that problem in the arena mode. Heading outside, we can both purchase and access all of our items and spells. In addition, we can modify our clothes, increase the difficulty of the dungeon, pay to receive a specific boss at the start of the game, pay to receive more money at the start, access cursed relics, and a second dungeon, which is essentially a boss rush you don't have in the other game, at least as far as I know. Also, you can sprint in all of these areas, which is very nice. I don't think the sequel's version is bad, but compared to the first game, clearly something was lost along the way. And this is especially clear in the dungeons. Comparing them side to side, it's very clear the second game is far more open than the first, going for that feeling of large, grand, compared to the tight and almost claustrophobic corridors of the first game. Here is mostly a matter of taste. neither is objectively better than the other. What I can say is that the first is far more direct and efficient, also terrifying. Every corner is dangerous. It encourages caution, even if we both know that's not going to happen. Everything is placed closer together. It doesn't waste your time. It gets right to the point. A bit like comparing an empty Ubisoft world to something like Dragon's Dogma, Skyrim, or any Souls game. The fact that you also move slower in the second game doesn't help. You know what, actually, yeah, the first one is just better. What am I talking about? Wizard of Legend 2 loses a lot of its character and personality. You get 4 separate areas: Grasslands, Desert Lands, Skylands, and End Dimension. These are just what I like to call them. Something to note, there is a fair amount of enemy variety. The monsters in the dungeon offer a good challenge with more complex attacks and animations. There are also a fair amount of pretty cool traps, so that's all very nice. The first game instead dedicates an entire area to each final boss. So if, for example, you're going to be going up against the fire boss, then you will be fighting in the fire dungeon first. The same goes for lightning, earth, water, etc. Enemies, while varied, have very simple animation. I personally do like this. I think it fits with the style of the game overall, and I'm pretty sure here's my bias talking, but I do prefer it. Even the map, I know, even the map unfortunately received a massive debuff. In the original game, at the end of each level, you had to face a mini-boss. The strength level of the boss was based on how much of the map you have been able to unlock, showcased on the percentage below. The more you unlock, the easier the boss will be. I personally always found this to be a very cool mechanic. Unfortunately, both the mini-boss as well as the map percentage were removed in the second game. However, they have been replaced. Like, for example, you might find a mini boss randomly on the map, or for example, now there are also these portals that you can access to enter the darkness area that you use to meet the seller that sells you the cursed items. Is it a good trade-off? Personally, I don't know, but it's not bad. This is a small detail, but something that bothers me a fair deal is the fact that you can no longer just break pots by running into them. You have to either attack or dash into them, and it is kind of a pain in the ass. It wastes a lot of time for no reason. There are a lot of features in the game that feel like they're made to just waste your time, to delay you, and it's boring. Experimenting with build was a massive part of the first game, a big reason why one keeps coming back. The fast-paced dungeon worked really well, particularly for this reason. Beat or get beaten by the dungeon, new build, repeat. An average run will be around half an hour, considering that I'm probably one of the worst gamers to ever live in the history of mankind, so pretty good. The second game, a dungeon, will last you around an hour, if all goes well. At first it's okay, but it gets old really fast. It can work with a game like Hades, because Hades is fun. Wizard of Legend 2 is a slog. Again, boring, the original sin of gaming. Teleportation was made worse. How do you do that? For some reason, in the first game, you had the portal, you step through the portal, you're on the other side, and you're done. Easy, it's very simple. In the second game, for some reason, you have to stand on the structure, interact with the structure, select where you want to teleport. It's not the end of the world, but why would you make it more inconvenient? Again, so many features seem to be made just to waste your time. Another thing they did, you gain far less coin, wasting even more time. It's absurd. I just realized the first build I made, with which I beat the game, was essentially this sponge, okay, where every time you get hit, you receive 3 gold, and I had this specific relic thing from the mirror that allows you to regenerate health over time. So I just get hit a bunch, make a whole bunch of money, and buy whatever the hell I need. In the other game, this will never be necessary. It's absurd. Bosses are something the sequel does okay. While I do think it loses a lot of its charm, I don't think they are terrible, but I do feel like they focus more on making them more cinematic rather than enjoyable. More importantly, they don't feel like a Wizard of Legend boss. Wizard of Legend bosses follow a very simple theme, with very simple patterns, memorable sequential attacks, followed by quick openings. It's a counting game, with the first boss performing 3 attacks, the second 4, and the third 5 in a row before taking a break and providing an opening. Final boss second game feels more like a Wizard of Legend boss, but it's also by far the most disappointing because it's trying to do a mix of both instead of just committing. In fact, I think my favorite boss for the game was most likely this boss where there's this warrior dude and this wizard lady, and it's kind of this tag team thing. It's a really good fight. Still, it seems the second game decided to take some inspiration from Sekiro and added a posture meter, instead of sticking with what made the bosses fun in the first place. I see nothing wrong with a posture meter. I think Sekiro is a fantastic game, but we aren't here for Sekiro, we're here for Wizard of Legend. You have regular spells you can buy in the store, and you have chaos spells you can unlock by beating the game. As you may have noticed earlier, the first game has far more, and yes, while you can evolve, modify, improve spells in the second game, it feels more like they're giving you a debuffed version of the spell in the original game, so then you can get it back to the level of the original game by upgrading it, which is quite frankly completely ridiculous. Still, I do think overall they look good. They're not ugly in any way. I think they look really pretty. The spells look nice. I'm not the biggest fan of the sound effects. It sounds like they lost a lot of impact compared to the first game. One spell I will complain about is the one where you summon the soldiers. I'm going to show you here a quick comparison. The quality is just, it's bad. Here I can just say it with certainty, this is just bad. It was, I don't know if this was a rushed job or what. This spell in particular I think looks awful. The others look pretty good. The dragon spells in particular are very nice. In terms of relics, of course, much more variety in the first game, but not just, even a lot more use. Relics in the second game, a lot of them feel completely useless, which is really sad to see. I think the worst of them all might be this one right here, which gives you only 5% additional crit chance, which is, what's the point? At that point, let's be honest here, completely ridiculous. Another small thing about the relics is the useless relics. And I don't mean like useless in the sense where they have really bad stats. I mean useless. I really like useless relics. For example, this one here, the only purpose it has is it's to look dumb. It's the rainbow relic. You just go around and you have a rainbow trail. Does it give any stat boost of any kind? No, it's completely useless. You got a rainbow trail. I bloody love it. It adds so much character to the game. This is an amazing relic. It's good stuff, okay? It has heart. And I don't think any of the relics, or matter of fact, even the spells in the second game have heart. And that's really what's missing, and it's, quite frankly, it's sad to see. It's really sad to see. Because at the end of the day, Wizard of Legend 2 can get away with a lot. If you do not compare it to the first game, if it were just Wizard of Legend, I still don't think it's worth your time, but it can get away with a lot. But when you compare with the first, it's really sad to see, because clearly the heart is gone, the passion is gone, or at least if it's there, I can't see it. There is also the fact that a lot of relics that would have you wear them no longer do that, which is also very sad to see. For example, the horse head, you put on the horse head, you have the relic, then your character, he's wearing the horse head. You put on the mask, you have the mask. You put on the outfit, you have the outfit. It's a small detail, but it's very nice. Last but not least, I wasn't going to do this part, but it just happened so regularly. I just want to address the fact that the game is extremely buggy, like extremely buggy. Many runs I had to quit because either the character stopped moving, goes out of bounds, or for some reason can't go back in. So many bugs. It is in many circumstances completely unplayable. Yeah, I can't move. I'm completely stuck. I can't attack. I can't do anything. That sucks. I will say I did not get the bugs at the start of the game. Well, at the moment I started unlocking the chaos spells. The moment I started unlocking chaos spells, then that's when everything started going wrong. It was just completely ridiculous, and it's part of the reason why I couldn't play the game anymore. Not just for the fact that it was so incredibly boring, but the bugs made it impossible, too often impossible to beat. Because you get one and it's over. I would love to hear your opinion of the game, particularly from people who haven't played the first and only the second. See what you think. You'd be able to most likely give a less biased opinion than my own, because of course I am more than certain my experience of the first game influenced a lot. Well, it just did, let's be honest, it's a fact. Influenced a lot my opinion on the second game, so I'd love to hear yours. Also, people who have played the original one, what are your thoughts? And if you haven't tried it, what kept you away? Personally, at first for me, it was the art style. I saw it and I was like, no. Also, any feedback to improve the video, parts you found particularly boring, any editing things you'd like to see, we'd love to hear it. Thank you very much. See you next time. Damn it, dude.